What's up, y'all? Y'all know who it is. Y'all know what it is. Your boy JP comes out with another how-to. Today we got a Chevy Silverado 2011, and we're going to show you how to take this tag handle out and install this one with the backup camera. These are the type of things that you're into. Please consider subscribing, because these are the type of videos that we make on this channel. Car audio tutorials, radio removals, anything car audio install related. That's what this channel is about. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, because guess what? It's free, and that way you don't miss out on any more content. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, y'all, so the first thing we want to do is let the actual tailgate down. I'm using my 13 mil socket. So once you take those out, it lets this be kind of loose, and it'll allow us to actually get in here with our panel removal tool, get behind there, and pop that clip out. Come over here, pop that clip out. There's also one more at the bottom. Pop that out. So now we have this part by itself. I'm gonna put that right there for a second. And we can actually leave that handle just like that. Now what we want to do is, you see this little locking ring? We want to take that ring off so we can take this locking mechanism and put it in here. So this one comes with its own ring. Take it out. Went on ahead and snatch this one out. Do the same thing to this side. Take it out like that. Slide that out. You want to take this out, put it in right there. Take that little part, that little grommet part out. All right, line that back up. Stick this back on like so. So now we have that back locked in place, and we can go ahead and put this handle back in its place. All right, so the next thing you guys want to do is you want to, while the tailgate is still down, you want to get some type of fish tool. Now I have this tool, it's a wire pulling tool. I have a couple options down there in the description for you guys, but this one, you can screw this off and just add as many of them as you want. But I have my flashlight. So if you look right here, I have my flashlight flashing down over there on that side, because there's a hole right there at the end. So now I can take this fish tool and just fish it that way, and then that allows me to pull this end through. And if this is too big to actually go through my hoop, which is fine, I just ended up taping it up on the end. But now we have a way to fish our wire all the way to the front. Push that in here just to get it started. Boom. All right, so as you guys can see, I went ahead and took the rest of my wire and dropped that down. And what I want to do now is go ahead and install this back. So we're going to lift this tailgate up. All right, guys, so these next steps is very important. First thing I did is I ran my camera wire under this little bar right here, just so it'll be easier to maneuver back and forth, and I went ahead and plugged in my camera. Next thing that I did is I went ahead and took one of those 13 mils, and I started it on the bottom. The one on the bottom goes directly to the handle. So I just did it just enough. As you can see, I still have a lot that can be screwed in. I literally have just enough in there to where I can have my handle secure and I can have some play. So now what I want to do is take my Bluetooth, not my Bluetooth, take my backup camera wire, feed it down in there, and then on the bottom, I can pull this wire as I'm feeding it. Now the reason you only want to do it for a little bit, because that one screw that goes in the middle is going to mount right here as well. So you want to put that up under and then have your handle like that. These snaps snap in, and now I want to hold this on one end and continue to tighten that screw in to get it tight. That way I can hold this to where it's not crooked, because you see how it still has some play in there. You want to hold it till it's about center like this on one end, and then finger tighten that screw on the other end. We can take the other two screws, finger tighten them and put them in their position. Make sure our handle lines up nicely. This is good, this is good. All right, that looks perfect. Next step, I'm gonna show you guys 2 ways on how to actually get the reverse signal to your camera and to your radio. First thing we can do is actually try to get it at the tail light. And then that pulls out like that. Now, notice this right here, that middle one, that should be your reverse light. So these blacks, I'm going to assume that they're ground, and we're gonna test this one in the middle. I actually have my power probe right here, and I'm gonna just poke a hole through this. All right, so as you can see right now, we're poking this green. We're poking the green wire. We have it going right through the hoop, and it is showing me 0 volts. All right, so I already have this radio out because I've done it a bunch of times. So if you guys want to see how to take this radio out, I will link that card over there in the corner for you to hit. But now let's go ahead and turn this car on. If you have a Chevrolet or GMC, Cadillac, whatever, the car has to be crunk up to test reverse. All right, so as you can see, I actually crunked the truck up, we put it in reverse, got 13.8 volts, put it back in park, and we got 0 volts, so this is a reverse trigger. So now let's talk about the power harness. So the power harness is gonna be this black cable right here. It's gonna come with a ground, and it's also gonna come with a red wire with a fuse on it. They give you this option because just in case you wanna actually tap onto your reverse wire at the tail light. Now, I usually don't like tapping onto the tail light, especially in this vehicle. The reason being is because we actually have a harness called the Maestro RR that's going to give us a 12-volt reverse wire right behind the radio. So what I can do now is I can take the ground off of this and just kind of ground it right here, scraping the metal off like you're supposed to, and I can actually power up this wire that's on the back of the RCA. So why would I do that? The red wire on this part of the harness and the red wire on the RCA are the exact same wire, and I'm gonna show you how I know. You guys hear that beep? My multimeter is on continuity. What that basically means is that when I take my black probe and I take my red probe and I touch them to these 2 wires, I hear that beep because they are connected somewhere down the line. So I know if I put power on this wire, I'm going to get power on that wire. If you guys don't know how to use a digital multimeter, then I also have a video showing you guys how to do that type of stuff. So basically what that means is if I wanted to tap off the tail light, I can put this red wire to here, and when that car goes in reverse, this right here will get 12 volts. But since I don't tap it off tail lights, there's no problem with me using this on the reverse trigger right behind the radio, since our Maestro harness is gonna provide that 12 volts when the car goes in reverse. So now I just ground this out like I showed you earlier, and I only have 1 wire to run to the front. All right, guys, now for the fun part, making sure that we have this thing wired and ran to the front. So first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that if I have factory wiring, I actually zip tie it to the factory wiring. Why? Because you know that these wires are out of the way because the factory doesn't want it being pinched and it's away from any type of heat. So I take this, I zip tied it here, and I wanted to go above the frame. So I made sure that I had another zip tie right there. And then that way I can go up, and I found some more factory wiring right here, zip tied on the top right here. And I'm basically just gonna do the exact same thing all the way to the front, zip tying it along the factory wiring and going above the frame. Also guys, real quick, if you guys don't have any factory wiring, it's good to find spots like that on the actual truck. I try not to zip tie anything to the actual frame just in case you want to do any type of body work to the frame. And if you did, all you have to do is just cut the zip tie, but make sure it's over the frame in spots like that. And now let's show you how to get inside the truck. I take this panel off. It's only held in by clips. I already did that. And what I usually do is I come up here and I just go ahead and poke myself a little hole. Now, the way that I find out that there's nothing behind that is I put my hand on the other side, on the underside up under the truck, and I'll knock on this side and then see if I can feel that knock on the other side. If I can't feel it, then it means there's something in the way, and that's not the spot that I need to drill. This part I know is a good one, so I'm gonna start my hole. Then I use my step drill bit. This is actually a Klein step drill bit that I got from Home Depot. I'll have that link in the description. I'm gonna use this to actually open this hole up. So now that I have that hole open like how I want it, so I'm gonna take my RCA, feed it through the back. Pull the rest of my wire through. Now, y'all know me, y'all know I like it clean. So what I'm using now is called a snap bushing. And you basically just take it over the RCA and just run it all the way down. That snaps in place. So even though this has this protective loom over there, you want to put that snap bushing in just for extra protection. And that way you don't have any way that the wire can actually touch the metal. And on the back side, we're going to use some strip caulk to actually seal up that hole. That way if it rains or if it runs over a big puddle or anything like that, we don't have to worry about this carpet getting wet. And now that we have that, we just want to tuck that up under the carpet. Run it up under all the panels all the way to the front. So I took this panel off in the front just like we did in the back, and you guys already know that it's zip tied along the factory wiring, so it looks factory. We actually dropped the glove box, zip tied along the factory wiring. This is also your XM tuner, just in case you didn't know. And I got it ran back here going that way to where it comes right behind where we have our radio. We are back inside the car, and I wanted to show you guys exactly what I was talking about on why I didn't tap into the tail light. This right here is the Maestro RR, and it is going to provide 12 volts when we put that car in reverse. So you see that purple wire with the white stripe? It is this purple wire with the white stripe. And then here is our wire that goes to our rear cam. This is in the rear cam slot on the back of our Kenwood radio. And this is the purple wire with the white stripe that says reverse. So when this gets 12 volts, it changes this to a video output for this reverse RCA that comes from our backup cam. All those are tied together and capped off, and that's why I didn't tap into the tail light. All right, guys, this is the moment of truth. Put that thing in reverse, and we have our camera that comes up. Now, if you found any type of value in this video, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, share, comment if you want to. Product links in the description. If you guys want to be a furthermore supporter, those Patreon links are in the description. If you don't want to hold tight to any type of commitment, there is a big heart down there that says thanks, and you guys can choose that way to support the channel. If not, that's all good. I'm not asking anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. Everything is appreciated. But until next time, this is your boy JP signing out, man. Y'all be blessed.